अष्टतरशतश्मद श्रील भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नितिल उपविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतरशतश्मद श्रील भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नितिल उपविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतरशतश्मद श्रील भक्ति वेदांत साई महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल उपविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतरशतश्मद श्रील भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतरशतश्मद श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्रील गोक्षरस बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूप गौड़िय गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल पत दास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गोपाल शाद वृंद की जय। नाम चैश्लाई रस ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अविश्वभरत गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंग देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त की जय। श्री षठ थिला अकारशी तिथि की जय। तिथि पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणीति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तम् अनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरह कातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूत हृदयमुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदन्तस्थो भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतम्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Sai. तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वां नायमां शरणन्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितराङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dandavat pranams, Raseshwari Mataji, Gargaraji, Madhavi Didi, Kajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Shash Sharmaji, Rukmini Didi. It's been a while, Haribol, Indira Mataji, Hare Krishna, everybody. Alright, so in the previous chapter, we read Lord Brahma's prayers. Okay, let's read from here. So Puri Maharaj, he eagerly asks about the purpose and products of churning the milk ocean and the Lord's form of kurma. Due to Durvasa Muni's curse, the demigods became weak, and they were defeated by the demons. They all approached Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma induced the demigods to take shelter of Lord Viṣṇu. Then Brahma, he begins making his prayers to Lord Viṣṇu on the milk ocean. And so he describes the various attributes of the Supreme Lord, and then the Lord's universal form, because then he's never, Brahma or the demigods never had direct darshan of the Lord, and so they were just only describing in detail, glorifying what they have seen of the universe. And then he explains the glory of worshipping Lord Viṣṇu. And then, after making all those prayers, let's just read from the beginning. After making all this, in response to the prayers of Brahma, the Supreme Lord Hari appears before the demigods. The Supreme Lord Hari appeared before the demigods with the brilliance of 1,000 rising suns. Blinded by his effulgence, the demigods couldn't see anything, including him. The Supreme Lord's beauty. Brahma and Shiva saw the crystal clear personal beauty of the Supreme Lord. His blackish body resembles a markata gem. His eyes are reddish like the depths of a lotus. His yellow silken garments are like molten gold. His entire body is attractively decorated. His smiling face and eyebrows are beautiful. His crown is bedecked with valuable jewels. He is decorated with all kinds of ornaments. His beautiful earrings illuminate the cheeks of his beautiful lotus face. He wears a belt on his waist, bangles on his arms. He is adorned with necklaces and anklets. He wears the Kaustuba gem and carries Lakshmi. He moves with beautiful flower garlands. He bears his weapons like Sudarshan disc and club. He is worshipped in his original form. The demigods offered obeisances upon seeing the Lord's beautiful form. Prayers by Lord Brahma after the Lord's darshan. The Lord is inconceivable. You are unborn, yet you appear and disappear in many incarnations. You are never affected by material modes, and you are an ocean of spiritual bliss. You are supremely subtle of all subtle things. Your features are inconceivable by speculation. Your existence is inconceivable. Our repeated obeisances unto you. O best of persons, Those who desire supreme fortune worship your form according to the Vedic tantras. We can see the three worlds in you, Vishvamurti, the beginning, middle, and end of all. You are the beginning, sustenance, and end of this world. You are fully independent. The universe arises from, rests on, and ends in you, just as an earthen pot arises from, is supported by, and finally returns into the earth. Through your Maya, you create this universe and enter into it. Thoughtful and pure devotees, well-versed in Vedic knowledge, see you untouched by material qualities, though you exist within their transformations. As one can derive fire from wood, milk from cow, food, grains, and water from land, and livelihood from endeavors, so, by the practice of bhakti yoga, one can attain you. All those who are pious affirm this. So that's where we're reading from, actually 12. Now there's going to be an analogy. Kindling fire from wood, milk by milking a cow, grains by cultivating land, water by digging land, earning livelihood by endeavoring. And then the message from each one of those. Kindling fire from wood is the practice of bhakti. Guru, by that practice. Yeah, I knew so. Alright. Dandava pranams Vishaka Didi and Ganga Didi. Haribo. Yatagnim edas samrita chagoshu bhuvyanama buddhyamane chavritim yogar manusya adiyanti tvam guneshu buddhya kavayo vadanti. As one can derive fire from wood, milk from the milk bag of the cow, food, grains, and water from the land, and prosperity in one's livelihood from industrial enterprises, so, by the practice of bhakti yoga, even within this material world, one can achieve your favor or intelligently approach you. Those who are pious all affirm this. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although the Supreme Personality... Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is nirgun, I was going to forget that. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is nirgun, not to be found within this material world, the entire material world is pervaded by him, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Maya tatang idang sarvam. The material world is nothing but an expansion of the Lord's material energy, and the entire cosmic manifestation rests upon him. Matstani sarvabhutani. Nonetheless, the Supreme Lord cannot be found here. Na chaham kleshvavastitaha. A devotee, however, can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the practice of bhakti yoga. One ordinarily does not begin to practice bhakti yoga unless he has practiced it in previous births. Moreover, one can begin bhakti yoga only by the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, Bhakti Lata Bij. The seed of devotional service is obtainable by the mercy of Guru, the spiritual master, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only by the practice of bhakti yoga can one achieve the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and see him face to face. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. One cannot see the Lord by other methods such as karma, jnana, or yoga. Under the direction of the spiritual master, one must cultivate bhakti yoga, shravanam kirtanam Viṣṇu, smaranam pada sevanam. Then, even within this material world, although the Lord is not visible, a devotee can see him. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Mam Abhijananti Yavan Chasmi Tattvataha, and in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhaktyaham Ekaya Grahya. Thus, by devotional service, one can achieve the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he is not visible or understandable to materialistic persons. In this verse, the cultivation of bhakti yoga is compared to many material activities. By friction, one can get fire from wood. By digging the earth, one can get food grains and water. And by agitating the milk bag of the cow, one can get nectarian milk. Milk is compared to nectar, which one can drink to become immortal. Of course, simply drinking milk will not make one immortal, but it can increase the duration of one's life. In modern civilization, men do not think milk to be important, and therefore they do not live very long. Although in this age men can live up to 100 years, their duration of life is reduced because they do not drink large quantities of milk. I love how much an advocate of milk Srila Prabhupada is. This is a sign of Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, instead of drinking milk, people prefer to slaughter an animal and eat its flesh. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his instructions of Bhagavad Gita, advises Go Raksha, which means cow protection. The cow should be protected. Milk should be drawn from the cows, and this milk should be prepared in various ways. One should take ample milk. Thus, one can prolong one's life, develop his brain, execute devotional service, and ultimately attain the favor of the personality of Godhead. It is essential to get food grains and water by digging the earth. It is also essential to give protection to the cows and take nectarian milk from their milk bags. The people of this age are inclined toward industrial enterprises for comfortable living, but they refuse to endeavor to execute devotional service, by which they could achieve the ultimate goal of life. By returning home back to Godhead. Unfortunately, as it is said, Nate vidu svartha gatim hi Viṣṇu durashayaye artha manina. People without spiritual education do not know that the ultimate goal of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. Forgetting this aim of life, they are working very hard in disappointment and frustration. Moghasha mogakarmano moga jnana vicetasaha. The so-called Vaishyas, the industrialists or businessmen, are involved in big industrial enterprises, but they are not interested in food grains and milk. However, as indicated here, by digging for water, even in the desert, we can produce food grains. When we grains and vegetables, we can give protection to the cows. While giving protection to the cows, we can draw from them abundant quantities of milk. And by getting enough milk and combining it with food grains and vegetables, we can prepare hundreds of nectarian foods. We can happily eat this food and thus avoid industrial enterprises and joblessness. Agriculture and cow protection are the way to become sinless and thus be attracted to devotional service. Those who are sinful cannot be attracted by devotional service, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:28. Yeshan tvanta gatang papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva mohanirmukta bhajante mam dridha vrata. Persons who acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. The majority of people in this age of Kali are sinful, short-living, unfortunate, and disturbed. Manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrutaha. For them, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised, Harer nama, Harer nama, Harer namaeva kevalam, Kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatir anyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Tang tam vayam nata samujihanam sarojana bhati re sorry sarojana bhi na bhati chirepsitartam drishtva gata nirvritam adya sarve gajadavarta iva gangamamba. Elephants afflicted by a forest fire become very happy when they get water from the Ganges. Similarly, O my Lord, from whose navel grows a lotus flower, since you have now abhorred us, we have become transcendent happy. By seeing your Lordship, whom we have desired to see for a very long time, we have achieved our ultimate goal in life. Purport. The devotees of the Lord are always very eager to see the Supreme Lord face to face, but they do not demand that the Lord come before them, for a pure devotee considers such a demand to be contrary to devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches this lesson in his Shikshashtaka. Darshanam marmam hatam karotuva. The devotee is always eager to see the Lord face to face, but if he is broken-hearted because he cannot see the Lord, even life after life, he will never command the Lord to appear. This is a sign of pure devotion. Therefore, in this verse, we find the word ati chira ipsita artham, meaning that the devotee aspires for a long, long time to see the Lord. If the Lord, by his own pleasure, appears before the devotee feels extremely happy, as Dhruva Maharaj felt when he personally saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Dhruva Maharaj saw the Lord, he had no desire to ask the Lord for any benediction. Indeed, simply by seeing the Lord, Dhruva Maharaj felt so satisfied that he did not want to ask the Lord for any benediction. Swamin kritartos mi varjam nayache. A pure devotee, whether able or unable to see the Lord, always engages in the Lord's devotional service, always hoping that at some time the Lord may be pleased to appear before him so that he can see the Lord face to face. One thing I said that wasn't totally true. I said that Brahma never saw the Lord, and that's why he described the Lord only what he's seen of the Lord, like the universal form of the Lord. Because that's what it said in that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam summary. But I remember Brahma seeing the Lord. It even says in the translation that Lord Brahma shook the Lord's hand, right? But maybe the demigods hadn't seen the Lord at that point. But yeah, just realized that. Or maybe Brahma didn't see that form of the Lord. I don't know. Yeah, I wonder why it said that in that book. Okay. Satang vidat swakila lokapala vayang yadarthas tava padamulam samagataste bahirantaratman kim banyag vigyapyam ashesha shakshina. My Lord, we, the various demigods, the directors of this universe, have come to your lotus feet. Please fulfill the purpose for which we have come. You are the witness of everything, from within and without. Nothing is unknown to you, and therefore it is unnecessary to inform you again of anything. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 13.3, Kshetra gyam chapimam vedhi sarva kshetresu bharata. The individual souls are proprietors of their individual bodies, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the proprietor of all bodies. Since he is the witness of everyone's body, nothing is unknown to him. He knows what we need. Our duty, therefore, is to execute devotional service sincerely under the direction of the spiritual master. Krishna, by his grace, will supply whatever we need in executing our devotional service. In the Krishna consciousness movement, we simply have to execute the order of Krishna and Guru. Then all necessities will be supplied by Krishna, even if we do not ask for them. Aham giritascha saradayo ye takshadayo gner iva ketavaste kingva vidam mesha pritag vibhata Vidhatsva Shamno Dijadeva Mantram. I, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the demigods, accompanied by the Prajapatis like Daksha, are nothing but sparks illuminated by you, who are the original fire. Since we are particles of you, what can we understand about our welfare? O Supreme Lord, please give us the means of deliverance that is suitable for the Brahmins and the demigods. Purport. In this verse, the word Dvija Deva Mantram is very important. The word mantra means that which delivers one from the material world. Only the Dvijas, the Brahmins, and the Devas, the demigods, can be delivered from material existence by the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a mantra and is suitable for delivering the conditioned souls from material speculation. The conditioned souls are engaged in a struggle for existence. Mana shashtanindriyani prakriti-hani karshati. Deliverance from this struggle constitutes the highest benefit, but unless one gets a mantra from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, deliverance is impossible. The beginning mantra is the Gayatri mantra. Therefore, after purification, when one is qualified to become a Brahman, a Dvija, he is offered the Gayatri mantra. Simply by chanting the Gayatri mantra, one can be delivered. This mantra, however, is suitable only for the Brahmins and demigods. In Kali Yuga, we are all in a very difficult position, in which we need a suitable mantra that can deliver us from the dangers of this age. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Lord Chaitanya gives us the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Nameva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatir Anyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. In his Shikshashtak, Lord Chaitanya Lord Chaitanya says, Parang Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to the chanting of Shri Krishna Sankirtan. The Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is directly chanted by the Lord himself, who gives us this mantra for deliverance. We cannot invent any means to be delivered from the dangers of material existence. Here, even the demigods such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and the Prajapatis such as Daksha, are said to be like illuminating sparks in the presence of the Supreme Lord, who is compared to a great fire. Sparks are beautiful as long as they are in the fire. Similarly, we have to remain in the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always engage in devotional service, for then we shall always be brilliant and illuminating. As soon as we fall from the service of the Lord, our brilliance and illumination will immediately be extinguished, or at least stopped for some time. When we living entities who are like sparks of the original fire, the Supreme Lord, fall into a material condition, we must take the mantra from the Supreme Personality of Godhead as it is offered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, we shall be delivered from all the difficulties of this material world. Shri Shukla Uvacha. Okay, so I guess that was the last prayer by Lord Brahma. And now Lord Viṣṇu's instruction to churn the milk ocean. Hari Bol, Rup Manjari, Didi, no problem. Well, Rup Manjari, Didi, that handshake was at the beginning of creation, wasn't it? That was in the... Yeah, that's what I remember. But yeah, maybe it was a different form of the Lord. And also, it didn't say directly in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that Brahma never saw the Lord. I think that was just that the devotee who compiled that book, Bhagavat Subodhini. He mentioned that. And usually he just takes from purports and things though. So, I don't know. Okay. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam Virincha Divir Editastad Vigyayate Sham Hridayang Yataiva Jagada Jimuta Kabiraya Gira Padanjalin Sangritach Sarvakarakan. Shukadeva Goswami continued. When the Lord was thus offered prayers by the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, he understood the purpose for which they had approached him. Therefore, in a deep voice that resembled the rumbling of clouds, the Lord replied to the demigods, who all stood there attentively with folded hands. Eka eva shvarastasmin surakarye sureshvara vihartu kamastan aha samudron matana dibihi. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the demigods, was capable of performing the activities of the demigods by himself, he wanted to enjoy pastimes in churning the ocean. Therefore, he spoke as follows. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anta Brahman Aho Shambho He Deva Mama Pashitam Shrinuta Vahita Sarve Shreyo Vasyad Yatasura. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other demigods, please hear me with great attention, for what I say will bring good fortune for all of you. Yata danavataiteyais tavat santir vitiyatam kalenanu grihitaistair yavadvo bhava atmanaha. As long as you are not flourishing, you should make a truce with the demons and asuras who are now being favored by time. Purport. One word in this verse has two readings, kalena and kavyena. Kalena means favored by time, and kavyena means favored by Shukracharya. Shukracharya being the spiritual master of the Shukracharya being the spiritual master of the Daitas. The demons and Daitas were favored in both ways, and therefore, the demigods were advised by the Supreme Lord to execute a truce for the time being, until time favored them. We'll only make it the truce until we get the upper hand. Arayapi hi santeya satikaryarta gaurave ahimushi kavateva yartasya padavim gatai. O demigods, fulfilling one's own interests is so important that one may even have to make a truce with one's enemies. For the sake of one's self-interest, one has to act according to the logic of the snake and the mouse. Purport. A snake and a mouse are once caught in a basket. Now, since the mouse is food for the snake, this was a good opportunity for the snake. However, since both of them were caught in the basket, even if the snake ate the mouse, the snake would not be able to get out. Therefore, the snake thought it wise to make a truce with the mouse and asked the mouse to make a hole in the basket so that both of them could get out. The snake's intention was that after the mouse made the hole, the snake would eat the mouse and escape from the basket through the hole. This is called the logic of the snake and the mouse. That doesn't seem very honest. Well, I guess the Lord said it, so. अमृतोत्पादने यत्न क्रियताम् अविलम्बितं यस्य पितस्य वैजन्तुर् मृत्युग्रस्तो मरो भवेत्. So funny. Immediately endeavor to produce nectar, which a person who is about to die may drink to become immortal. Kshiptva kshirodato sarva virutrina latoshadhi manthanam mandaram kritva netram kritva tuvasukim sahayena maya deva nirmantha tvam atandritaha klesha bhajo bhavishyanti daitayuyam phalagraha. O demigods, cast into the ocean of milk all kinds of vegetables, grass, creepers, and drugs. Then, with my help, making Mandara mountain the churning rod and Vasuki the rope for churning, churn the ocean of milk with undiverted attention. Thus the demons will be engaged in labor, but you, the demigods, will gain the actual result, the nectar produced from the ocean. Purport. It appears that when different kinds of drugs, creepers, grass, and vegetables are put into this milk, and the milk is churned, as milk is churned for butter, the active principles of the vegetables and drugs mix with the milk, and the result is nectar. Yuyam tar anumodadvam yad ichantya sura naisangrambena siddhyanti sarvartaha santvayayata. My dear demigods, with patience and peace, everything can be done. But if one is agitated by anger, the goal is not achieved. Therefore, whatever the demons ask, agree to their proposal. Nabhetavyam kalat kutad vishajjaladi sambhavat lobha karya navojatu rosha kamastu vastushu. A poison known as kalakuta will be generated from the ocean of milk, but you should not fear it. And when various products are churned from the ocean, you should not be greedy for them or anxious to obtain them, nor should you be angry. Purport. It appears that by the churning process, many things will be generated from the ocean of milk, including poison, valuable gems, nectar, and many beautiful women. The demigods were advised, however, not to be greedy for the gems or beautiful women, but to wait patiently for the nectar. The real purpose was to get the nectar. Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Devan Samadishya Bhagavan Purushottama Tesham Antardate Rajan Swachanda Gatirishvara. Shukadev Goswami continued, O King Parikshit, after advising the demigods in this way, the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all living entities, disappeared from their presence. Tatasmai Bhagavate Namaskritya Pitamaha Bhavascha Jagmatuhu Swang Swang Damope Yurbalim Sura. Then Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, after offering the respectful obeisances to the Lord, returned to their abodes. All the demigods then approached Maharaj Bali. Drishtvarin apisam yatan jatak shobhan swanayakan nyashedad daitarat shlokya sandhi vigrahakalavit. So reading these verses is so much more fun when I'm just now starting to learn all the different kinds of sandhi. And yeah, it's so cool knowing the rules why it's all. Maharaj Bali, a most celebrated king of the demons, knew very well when to make peace and when to fight. Thus, although his commanders and captains were agitated and were about to kill the demigods, Maharaj Bali, seeing that the demigods were coming to him without a militant attitude, forbade his commanders to kill them. Purport. Vedic etiquette enjoins grihe shatrum apipraptam vishvastam akutobhyam. When enemies come to their opponent's place, they should be received in such a way that they will forget that there is animosity between the two parties. Bali Maharaj was well conversant with the arts of peacemaking and fighting. Thus he received the demigods very well, although his commanders and captains were agitated. This kind of treatment was prevalent even during the fight between the Pandavas and the Kurus. During the day, the Pandavas and Kurus would fight with the utmost strength, and when the day was over, they would go to each other's camps as friends and be received as such. During such friendly meetings, one enemy would offer anything the other enemy wanted. That was the system. I find that so interesting. I mean, they're like killing each other's family members. And so you're just like killing another family member, and then at the end of the day, you're just like, hi, how's it going? Can I have some of that? Thanks. Devairo chanim asina guptam chasura yutapai shriya paramaya justam jita shesham upagaman. The demigods approached Bali Maharaj, the son of Virochana, and sat down near him. Bali Maharaj was protected by the commanders of the demons and was most opulent, having conquered all the universes. Mahendraha shlakshnaya vacha santavayitva mahamati abhyabhashata tat sarvam shikshitam purushottamat. After pleasing Bali Maharaj with mild words, Lord Indra, the king of the demigods, who is most intelligent, very politely submitted all the proposals he had learned from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Viṣṇu. Tatvarachata daityasya tatranye ye suradhipa Shambharorishta nemischa ye chatri puravasina. The proposals submitted by King Indra were immediately accepted by Bali Maharaj and his assistants, headed by Shambhara and Arishta Nemi, and by the other. It is accepted by Bali Maharaj and his assistants, headed by Shambhara and Arishta Nemi, and by all the other residents of Tripura. Did I turn on my mic? One second, let me just check. Dang it! It's not been using my mic. There. Sorry about that. It appears from this verse that politics, diplomacy, and the propensity to cheat, and everything that we find in this world in individual and social negotiations between two parties, are also present in the upper planetary systems. The demigods went to Bali Maharaj with a proposal to manufacture nectar, and the Daitas, the demons, immediately accepted it, thinking that since the demigods were already weak, when the nectar was produced, the demons would take it from them and use it for their own purposes. The demigods, of course, had similar intentions. The only difference is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Viṣṇu, was on the side of the demigods because the demigods were his devotees, whereas the demons did not care about Lord Viṣṇu. All over the universe, there are two parties: the Viṣṇu party, or God-conscious party, and the Godless party. The Godless party is never happy or victorious, but the God-conscious party is always happy and victorious. Which is interesting, though, that the leader of the demon party is a pure devotee. He's one of the 12 Mahajans, and Indra is always screwing something up because of his like pride and jealousy and all those things. And he just wants things from the Lord. He's like his anyways. Tato devasura kritva sangvidang krita sohrida udyamang paramang chakrur amritarte parantapa. O Maharaj Parikshit, chastiser of enemies, the demigods and the demons thereafter made an what's this word? Armistice? An armistice. An agreement made by opposing sides in a war to stop fighting for a certain time, a truce. So they made an armistice between them. Then, with great enterprise, they arranged to produce nectar as proposed by Lord Indra. Purport. The word Sangvidam is significant in this verse. The demigods and demons both agreed to stop fighting, at least for the time being, and endeavored to produce nectar. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur notes in this connection, Samvid yude pratigyayam achare namni toshane sambhashane kriyakare sanketa gyanayor api. The word samvit is variously used to mean in fighting, in promising, for satisfying and addressing, by practical action, indication, and knowledge. Tataste mandara girim ajosotpatya durmadaha nadanta uddadhim ninyu shakta parigabhava. Thereafter, with great strength, the demons and demigods, who were all very powerful and who had long, stout arms, uprooted Mandara mountain. Crying very loudly, they brought it toward the ocean of milk. Dura bharadvahashanta shakra vairochanadaya aparayantas tang vodhum vivasha vijahupati. Because of conveying the great mountain for a long distance, King Indra, Maharaj Bali, and the other demigods and demons became fatigued. Being unable to carry the mountain, they left it on the way. Nipatan sagiristatra bahun amaradanavan churnayam asamahata barena kanakachala. The mountain became known as Mandara, which was extremely heavy, being made of gold. The mountain, known as Mandara, which was extremely heavy, being made of gold, fell and smashed many demigods and demons. Purport. By constitution, gold is heavier than stone. Since Mandara mountain was made of gold, and was therefore heavier than stone, the demigods and demons could not properly carry it to the ocean of milk. Tangstata bhagna manaso bhagna bahurukandaran vigyaya bhagavangstatra babhuva garuda daja. I learned that real too today, last night. When there's a na before a ta, then the na becomes like that. The demigods and demons were frustrated and disheartened, and their arms, thighs, and shoulders were broken. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who knows everything, appeared there on the back of his carrier, Garuda. Giripata vinishpishtan Vilokya maradanavan ikshaya vayam asa nirjaran nirvrananyata. Observing that most of the demons and the demigods had been crushed by the falling of the mountain, the Lord glanced over them and brought them back to life. Thus they became free from grief, and they even had no bruises on their bodies. Girim charopya karude hastenaikena lilaya aruya prayayav abdin surasura ganar vrittaha. The Lord very easily lifted the mountain with one hand and placed it on the back of Garuda. Then he too got on the back of Garuda and went to the ocean of milk, surrounded by the demigods and demons. Purport. Here is proof of the omnipotence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is above everyone. There are two classes of living entities, the demons and the demigods, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is above them both. The demons believe in the chance theory of creation, whereas the demigods believe in creation by the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The omnipotence of the Supreme Lord is proved here, for simply with one hand he lifted Mandara mountain. The demigods and the demons placed them on the back of Garuda and brought them to the ocean of milk. Now the demigods, the devotees, would immediately accept this incident, knowing that the Lord can lift anything, however heavy it might be. But although demons were also carried along with the demigods, demons, upon hearing of this incident, would say that it is mythological. But if God is all-powerful, why would it be difficult for him to lift a mountain? Since he is floating innumerable planets with many hundreds and thousands of Mandara mountains, why can't he lift one of them with his hands? This is not mythology, but the difference between the believers and the faithless is that the devotees accept the incidents mentioned in the Vedic literatures to be true, whereas the demons simply argue and label all these historical incidents mythology. Demons would prefer to explain that everything happening in the cosmic manifestation takes place by chance, but demigods, or devotees, never consider anything to be chance. Rather, they know that everything is an arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the difference between the demigods and the demons. Avaropya girim skandhat suparna patatang vara yayo jalanta utsrija harina sa visarjitaha. Thereafter, Garuda, the chief of the birds, unloaded Mandara mountain from his shoulder and brought it near the water. Then he was asked by the Lord to leave that place, and he left. Purport. Garuda was asked by the Lord to leave that place because the snake Vasuki, who is to be used as the rope for churning, could not go there in the presence of Garuda. Garuda, the carrier of Lord Viṣṇu, is not a vegetarian. He eats big snakes. Vasuki, being a great snake, would be natural food for Garuda, the chief of birds. Lord Viṣṇu therefore asked Garuda to leave so that Vasuki could be brought to churn the ocean with Mandara mountain, which was to be used as the churning rod. These are the wonderful arrangements of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nothing takes place by accident. Carrying Mandara mountain on the back of a bird and putting it in its right position might be difficult for anyone, whether a demigod or demon. But for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is possible, as shown by this pastime. The Lord had no difficulty lifting the mountain with one hand, and Garuda, his carrier, carried all the demons and demigods together by the grace of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is known as Yogeshwar, the master of all mystic power, because of his omnipotence. If he likes, he can make anything lighter than cotton or heavier than the universe. Those who do not believe in the activities of the Lord cannot explain how things happen. Using words like accident, they take shelter of ideas that are unbelievable. Nothing is accidental. Everything is done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the Lord himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Whatever actions and reactions occur within the cosmic manifestation, all take place under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, because the demons do not understand the potency of the Lord, when wonderful things are done, the demons think that they are accidental. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 8th canto, 6th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled, The Demigods and Demons Declare a Truce. Let's see, what are we reading tomorrow? Tomorrow, Lord Shiva saves the universe by drinking poison. Lord Vishnu's multiple roles in Samudra Manthan. Halahal poison, I thought it's called Kalakuta, appears as the first product. Then the demigods offer prayers to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva seeks Pavani's permission, and then Shiva drinks the poison, which creates a blue line on his neck. The glories of Lord Shiva. He accepts suffering for the sake of others. That's the highest worship of the Supreme Lord. Wow. Nice. All right. Let's see the comments. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Oh, it does say that in 8:425 that Brahma hadn't seen the Supreme Lord. That's interesting then. Okay. Prajumna Prabhu, I think there's only one Maharaj Bali. I think this is the same Bali that's in the Lord Vamandev Katha. Pretty sure. I don't think Bali Maharaj isn't like a post, like Indra is a post. It's not like that. Yeah. It sounded a bit better than before. That's very interesting. All right. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga, Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari, Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai, Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashitara Shatashmar, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashitara Shatashmar, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashitara Shatashmar, Srila Bhakti, sorry, spaced out. Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishwabhara Shatashma Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishwabhara Shatashma Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki Jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishwabhara Shatashma Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitil Pravishta Srila Goraksharas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Nitil Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jeev Gopal Pata Das Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshada Vrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandal Gaura Mandal Vraja Mandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Sarva Abhishyaparati Giri Raj Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki Jai. Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shat Tila Akadashi Titi ki jai. Titi Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Neil Kanta ki jai. Shri Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashaja Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I know that song. Oh, never born, oh, blue-throated one. How does it go? Anyways, yeah. I grew up with that song. Alright. Dandavat pranams, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Yeah, and it is really confusing how the Godless Party is led by Bali. Yep. Alright. Hari Bol, everybody. Dandavat pranams, Rukmini Didi, and Rup Manjari Didi, Indira Mataji, Pajumna Prabhu, everybody. I'm not going to say everybody's name, there's too many people. Hari Bol. See you all tomorrow.